Hello, League City. It's time for another short update with Mayor Long. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, today's topic, a couple of things we're going to talk about, but first, the council and yourself recently appointed a charter review committee. What is that, and what do you hope they accomplish?
Absolutely. So, the Charter Review Committee is a group of citizens that are appointed by council to take a look at the charter, which is essentially the city's constitution. And in there, it spells out basically how everything's going to work, how the council functions, how the government functions in general. And those are things that the council can't just pass an ordinance and change. That's just the absolute governing document. In terms of what I hope they look at, we didn't put a mandate on them. So we're going to let them literally look at everything. And so they're going to take some time, probably, we didn't even put a time frame on it, probably six months, and spend some time and go through it all and see what works, what doesn't. There's a couple of pieces in it that kind of contradict each other. There'll be some basic cleanup stuff that comes from staff and comes from the legal department, but we tried to keep it real open for them and let them explore and look at anything they want. And then from there, they'll create a list of recommendations that will come back to council. We'll vote if we're going to then place those on a ballot. And then once those are placed on a ballot, the citizens ultimately make the decision. And so I think what we'll look for, particularly when it comes back to us, we don't want to obviously call a special election for this. We want it to be on a normal election cycle. So if they can finish by, in time for the November elections this year, we'll put those on there. And so in November, that'll be all the state constitutional items. So these things will tend to fit with each other. And if we can't, then we'll wait till the next regular election to put these items on there. But we'll probably want to keep it between 5 and 8 things, just because if it gets beyond that, it just gets way too much. And we'll take it from there and let the citizens decide.
And this isn't the first time we've had a charter review committee. This happens every so many years.
Yeah, at the maximum, it can happen every 2 years, I believe. And we've been, we haven't done one in maybe 6 years.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of time there and can evaluate some stuff. I don't think there's anything real pressing, but there's certainly some items that have come up and that people want to explore.
So right now, League City is in the process of updating all of our master plans. Folks may not realize we have a water and wastewater master plan, a mobility master plan, a parks, trail, and open space master plan. Why are these plans so important to the city, and why is it essential that we update them?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like any good governance of an organization that has this much resources and this many employees, it's just important to kind of know where we're going. And a lot of things have changed over the last 5 years. The Grand Parkway is finally coming through. That has a huge impact on the mobility. And then really it even has a large impact on the water and wastewater, because it's going to open up the southwest side of town for development. And we need to know how we're going to pay for those developments, how we're going to pay for that infrastructure. And then from the park side, where are we going to expand our parks out to? Where's the new opportunities? Obviously, land on the east side of League City is pretty expensive, and really on the northwest side of League City is also. So really the only place to expand is in that southwest side of town, and the only place affordable for parks. So we have to figure out how we're going to tie all those together and where ultimately we want to be at build out. So all these plans are separate, but they all kind of feed into the greater vision of where we're trying to get to as a city.
And we want citizen input on these plans as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't want to live in a vacuum, and we're doing this for the citizens, and we need the feedback from them and what's important from them.
There are several opportunities for you actually to give feedback. One is on the mobility plan, another on the parks, trails, and open space master plan. You can go to leaguecity.com and find that information. Now, many of these plans include impact fees. Can you explain what impact fees are and how our city kind of uses those fees to offset the cost of new development?
Yeah, and so impact fees are exactly what they sound like. You want a new development, you're looking to build this, okay, it's going to impact the city in a variety of different ways. It's going to impact it from a water and wastewater perspective. We're going to have to expand the sewer plants, or we're going to have to expand the lift stations, and then from the roadside. So you want to put this brand new subdivision with 10,000 homes in it. Well, Those people are going to use those roads and use those major arterial roads, and it's going to have an impact for everybody around you, and we're going to have to expand those roads. So the idea behind it is all this development causes expense to be incurred by the city. And so then it's the decision who pays for it. Does the general fund pay for it? Okay, a lot of people do that. But if the general fund pays for it, that means the current residents of League City are paying for the impact the developer is causing.
They're paying
And
for the
that's-
new
they're
streets,
paying
the new
for-
water, the new pipes, the new all of that.
And that's not really equitable, and it doesn't make for good long-term planning. So the fees should be borne by the person and the entity causing the fees. So it's just a way of allocating expense to the developer to pay for the impact that they're causing. At the same time, frankly, it increases the price of those new homes, and it acts as a check on development somewhat. It slows it down. We're not in a position where we have to give away a lot of incentives to create development, and in some ways we need to be able to slow down a little bit and deal with the development that we have. So we look at it as a good way of allocating the cost back to the entities that create it, and then slowing down and making sure that we're getting high quality development, not just growth for growth's sake.
Well, thank you for joining us today for another short update. As always, if you have a question for Mayor Long or want to get in touch with him, his email is pretty simple. It's nick.long@leaguecitytx.gov. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks, Sarah.